guys, welcome back to my channel. So because we're getting close to award show season again, I thought I'd make a video about all of the issues I have with award shows and award show culture. I think we can all agree that in the past few years, award shows have really gone to shit, and I want to discuss some of the biggest issues I have with them in a nice numbered list. So disclaimer, these are all obviously my opinions. You don't have to agree with anything said in this video. I just ask that you please be respectful to me and other people in the comment section. Because many of these award shows are very clearly centered around K-pop artists, the categories to be nominated in are so limited, which makes it even more competitive. And I don't necessarily have a problem with competition, obviously, but I do have a problem when award shows make it so difficult for anyone aside from like the top 10 most popular groups and soloists in the industry to win. And I want to be clear, it's not that I have a problem with popular groups winning awards, as 99% of the time it's well earned, but award shows so often have like 5 different categories for the same popularity award. And on top of that, it bothers me that these award shows literally just decide to lump together different categories into one category, almost ensuring that the same groups win over and over again. Not only is this unfair, but it doesn't make sense. There should be more categories. Take the Grammys or the BBMAs for example. Both award shows have a plethora of different awards such as Best Female Rap Artist, Best Pop Performance, and more. And many people argue that this isn't the case for K-pop award shows, largely due to the fact that K-pop is considered a genre, which leads award shows to lump everyone together despite how vast and different music in the K-pop industry can be. In fact, many Korean people have said that K-pop should not be referred to as a genre, but rather as an industry because of the wide spectrum of music that's released under the label of K-pop. And because of K-pop being treated as a genre rather than an industry, it leads award shows to lump together different groups, artists, songs, and albums together that really shouldn't be competing with each other. In fact, many award shows have discontinued certain awards that would have helped give their show more variety. For certain awards such as Daesang's like Artist, Song, or Album of the Year, it's clear that the top groups and soloists are going to be the main candidates for those awards. However, throughout the years, the categories for awards have been narrowed down so much though that K-pop has been treated like a genre rather than the industry that it is. And like I said, it lumps together so many groups and artists who really shouldn't be competing against each other and don't outside of award shows. For any other category aside from Daesang's, it doesn't really make sense for a hip-hop based group to compete against a soloist who sings pop ballads. They run in different circles, their audiences don't really cross, and the overall limits of award show categories are restrictive, and it makes award shows boring to watch. I'm sure many of you are probably thinking about the beef between Mnet, YG, and SM the second I bring up favoritism amongst award shows, but if you don't know about Mnet's issues with SM and YG, here's a brief summary. Artists under YG and SM, along with their fans and their own companies, have spoken out about Mnet's unfairness towards artists under these labels and the blatant favoritism of groups who are aligned with CJ E&M, the entertainment company who presents Mama. Hell, SM and YG aren't the only ones who have called out Mama on their favoritism. In 2007, 2 members of the boy group Shinhwa canceled their appearances at the award show and gave the reason that they did not believe Mama would select the winners fairly. The director of Mnet once said that he believed that Mama could one day be the Korean version of the Grammys. And in a way, he is right, considering that like Mama, the Grammys are beginning to lose their shine and many artists are deciding to boycott the award show. But this is not only an issue that Mama has, and plenty of other award shows have been accused of blatant favoritism and exclusion as well. The AAAs, or the Asia Artist Awards, have been embroiled in controversy since 2018 due to fans claiming that votes were being deleted from certain groups, soloists, and actors. The Golden Disc Awards, who were once regarded as one of the most reliable award shows in Korea, was accused of favoritism by allowing Chinese fans to vote for most groups only 2 times a day, while others could be voted for 8 times a day. SBS Gaodaejeon was accused of favoritism at the 2017 show when fans pointed out that the time allocated to groups and soloists performing was extremely disproportionate. And not only are award shows showing blatant favoritism, but many of them are also known for being extremely unprofessional. In 2017, Mama blurred Blackpink's faces and cast a red light on them when showing them on screen, which many took as the show alluding to their issues with YG Entertainment. The Golden Disc Awards neglected to include both X1 and IZ*ONE from being nominated for any awards due to the rigging controversy with Produce. And in one of the biggest and most dangerous examples of unprofessionalism, SBS Gaodaejeon in 2019 in the extremely unsafe stage. While there were many incidents of idols falling and slipping on the set for Daejeon, the negligence and unprofessionalism of SBS led to Wendy from Red Velvet falling 8 feet from a platform and breaking her pelvic bone, wrist, and cheekbone. And despite evidence coming out about SBS clearly being at fault for her injuries, SBS still has yet to release an actual apology to Wendy for the incident. Now, Wendy's incident is clearly a more drastic case of unprofessionalism, but regardless, things like this on a smaller scale happen all the time at award shows, and it's just ridiculous, so much so to the point where it just has to be a pride thing. Specifically with Mama, they refuse to just bury the hatchet with SM and YG Entertainment, which is something so simple and would be in their best interest considering that it's literally become the most controversial awards show in the K-pop industry. Every single year the show is embroiled in some sort of controversy, and BTS and TWICE attending are the only thing keeping them above water at this point. Award shows at this point are so obsessed with their pride and ego, and they refuse to do things that would easily appease angry fans and solve controversies, and yet they don't. And it gets annoying every single year to watch award shows get called out for the same things and just straight up give their viewers the finger. Now, this is more so an issue I have with fans more than anything else, specifically when it comes to Song of the Year. Almost every single year, there's some sort of outrage when it comes to which song wins. In 2017, people were arguing over Red Flavor getting robbed when Signal won, and last year it was people claiming that Fancy got robbed when Boy With Love won. Nearly every single year there's some sort of outrage, and every single time people have to explain the same thing over and over again, and that is that stan Twitter clout does not equal success. In 2017, Signal won over Red Flavor because it had more music show wins, it was doing better digitally at the time, and overall it had the numbers that Red Flavor didn't. I've already made a video discussing why Boy With Love won over Fancy, so if you want to go watch that, you can, but the same thing goes like with Signal and Red Flavor. Boy With Love had 21 wins, was charting like crazy in Korea, and it was breaking records left and right as opposed to Fancy, which was TWICE's comeback with the least amount of wins since their debut. And even when it came down to voting, Boy With Love was pulling way ahead of Fancy, and nobody aside from Onces were voting for it. My overall point is that every single year people get upset over the same things that have already been explained to them previously. We all know the criteria for winning Song of the Year, and yet time and time again, people complain about the quote-unquote underdog song who didn't meet any of the criteria getting robbed for Song of the Year. And on top of that, this almost always ends in a dumb fan war about whose fave really deserved it because people just can't let these things go. Since BTS have really started to become popular, there's always controversy and complaining every single time they win an award, especially when they did a Daesang sweep last year. BTS haven't been able to win an award in peace since 2017. Many people claim that BTS have an unfair advantage, don't deserve awards that they win, or should quote-unquote let other groups win. This set of complaints and criticisms is reserved for BTS only, despite the fact that years before BTS started to get popular or even debuted, other groups in K-pop were essentially doing the same thing BTS are doing now and didn't get a fraction of the hate BTS get for winning every single year. People literally forget that EXO essentially owned the Album of the Year award for like 5 years straight, yet there was barely a word out of anyone about how EXO should let other groups win. Yet the second BTS are starting to win awards that they rightfully deserve, only then do these complaints surface. Award show season is really bittersweet as an ARMY because while I love seeing BTS win awards they deserve, I hate seeing K-pop stans claim that BTS should let other groups win, not realizing that if BTS has to quote-unquote let other groups win, then they didn't really win to begin with. I also want to talk about one more thing before I go, but I felt like it wasn't big enough to dedicate an entire point to, but because award shows are so clearly going down the drain, they rely so heavily on BTS attending. Some of these award shows will even move around the date that they're supposed to take place so that BTS can attend based on their schedules. And don't get me wrong, BTS is always going to be the biggest act at every single award show, but these award shows have gotten so bad that they're relying on BTS alone to save their ratings. If, God forbid, BTS eventually decide one day that they don't want to go to Korean award shows anymore, then they're literally screwed. Especially considering that shows like Mama's only redeeming quality is that BTS are in attendance every year. This isn't really a big deal, but for me, award shows becoming so reliant on one group to show up every single year is a clear sign that said group is literally the only reason said award show hasn't been discontinued yet. There are other smaller issues I have with award shows, but I didn't include them in this video due to the fact that they're subjective and very trivial, even more so than the ones I already listed. But if you guys want to see a video about that, then just let me know. know. Anyways, that's all for this video. Comment down below your opinions on award shows and award show culture because I would love to read you guys' takes, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!